Son of a glitch.
Kirby Super Star. Honestly, this is one of my favorite SNES games. It's colorful, it's stacked with personality, and considering the amount of variety of gameplay, Superstar is a really solidly programmed classic. But you know the drill, no game is safe from a glitch or two, so let's kick things off with the very first pretty amusing glitch. Kirby is known for sucking up enemies and inheriting their power. You thought I was gonna take that somewhere else, didn't you? Shame on you. Or shame on me? Anyway, suck up an enemy and then take a dive into the ocean. Here's where things get tricky. You need to swim towards the surface and press Y before Kirby exits the water. If done correctly, Kirby will now be swimming in the air. Listen, let's be real here. This is the only way to swim. If you're swimming like this, you're doing it wrong. If you're flying in the air like this, you're doing it wrong. This, okay. This, no. Okay, obviously this isn't actually right, and as soon as you take any damage, the game will correct Kirby's state and things will be back to normal again. This glitch occurs because as Kirby spits out an object or enemy at the water's surface, by the time those animation frames are over, Kirby has already left the water, and the game still thinks that Kirby is in a normal swimming state. Glitches like this are the best. Why be normal when you can swim around in the sky? Here's another strangely funny glitch. In Milky Way Wishes, you're able to select which ability you want to use at will, provided you grabbed it along the way. If you switch to the bomb ability while underwater, a bomb will explode in Kirby's hands immediately. Not really anything special there. But what happens when you exit the water is particularly special. Kirby will now hold an invisible bomb while running around, which looks kinda normal, but trust me, Kirby ain't right. It's also possible to get Kirby to run on the spot like crazy, so yeah, that happened. As with the swimming in the air glitch, the game finally gets a hold of itself when Kirby takes damage. I can only guess that a similar thing to the swimming glitch is taking place, but honestly, I don't know, game's weird. From invisible bombs to an invisible Kirby. Once again, in Milky Way Wishes, switch to the mirror ability while at a star fountain before completing each stage. Now, dash by hitting left or right on the D-pad twice and then jump toward the star in the middle of the screen. Before you grab the star, press Y to attack so that Kirby splits in two before touching it. If done correctly, Kirby will now disappear for a split second. That's it. Did you think something amazing was gonna happen? Yeah, me too. It's hard to know who's more disappointed right now. Do you maybe want to see it again? Wow. Okay, let's bring out Kirby Superstar Ultra on the DS to show us something really crazy. Yet again, in Milky Way Wishes, head to Sky High with either the copy or bomb ability. You'll need to be in this room where the Parasol Waddle Dee and Waddle Doo appear. Go through this door and then get ready to exit again through that same door. Now use either the copy or bomb ability on this Waddle Doo, knocking it backwards onto the middle platform. It has to land on this platform, otherwise the glitch won't be triggered. You'll know if you got it because now this Waddle Doo will begin moving at the speed of light and will actually increase its speed from there on out. I feel the best way to explain the rest of this glitch is to simply show you. This is just the true power of Waddle Doo. Things are about to get insane. I think we're about to achieve warp speed, guys. Eventually, Waddle Doo goes so fast that he appears to just fall off the screen somehow. It was nice knowing you, dude. Moving on to something a bit more useful. The wheel ability is one of my favorites in the game, and for good reason. It speeds up the gameplay a lot and makes light work of enemies. But there's also a useful glitch that you can exploit with the wheel. With the wheel ability, press the Y button to dash along the ground and then press and hold the B button. With the B button pressed, roll towards a screen boundary or any kind of wall. When you come to a stop, let go of the B button, and now if an enemy touches you, they'll get hurt and Kirby cannot be hurt at all. Obviously, this is great for taking down bosses, provided they actually come to the edge of the screen, of course. Bosses like Heavy Lobster or Fatty Whale are a great example of this glitch in action. Wheel does insane amounts of damage, so this is a really cool exploit. This next glitch is really small and not useful at all, but here goes. When riding an elevator with an ability like Fighter or Sword, perform an attack and Kirby will fall through the floor. Wow, this game, stop with all the crazy game-breaking glitches, this is too much. Here's another small but amusing glitch which takes place in the Revenge of Meta Knight. When you deliver the final hit, Meta Knight will make a swift exit at the top of the screen and it'll fade to black. Just as this fade to black happens, quickly press the A button to release your current ability, which is most likely the sword in this case. If performed correctly, when Kirby is hurled from the explosion and then lands on the Wheelie rider below, you may notice something isn't exactly correct. The Wheelie rider sprite has now glitched out for whatever reason. For a comparison, this is what it should look like. But this is only temporary, as once Kirby rides off to the right of the screen, all sprites are reloaded correctly, so the glitchiness is short-lived. Let's head to the spoiler alert final boss of the game, Marx, and something glitchy you can do with the Jet, Ninja, or Suplex ability. One of the attacks from Marx is to drop a ball which turns into a wave of ice when it hits the ground. If you suplex this ball at just the right time as it hits the ground, you'll end up with another glitched version of Marx on screen. It happens pretty quickly, so here's the slowed down version of the glitchy clone of Marx. The timing is pretty strict, so you may have to try this a few times to get this glitch to occur. Either way, it's pretty glitchy stuff. Going back to Kirby Super Star Ultra now, and it turns out the suplex ability can be used to break the game even more. For this glitch, we'll play Dynablade and we need Suplex, which you can grab easily from this secret room on the overworld map. The switch for this room is located somewhere in stage 4. I'll let you guys figure that one out. Anyway, head to stage 2 now and then get to this area here. As this guy is walking to the edge, quickly press the Y button just before he trips over the edge. Kirby will then suplex him downwards and then land on the floor below. Now, without pressing anything else, press B to jump. And voila, you've just crashed your game. Not entirely sure why this happens, but the only way to fix it is to restart your game. This next glitch is another crash, but back on the SNES version of the game, and it's kinda strange. It involves going to planet Hotbeat in Milky Way Wishes. To try this glitch, ideally, you'll want to have finished Milky Way Wishes at least once so you're able to return to the overworld map mid-stage. At the very beginning of Hotbeat, go and inhale one of these sleep enemies. Transform and then immediately press start, followed by R and then X to exit back to the overworld map. Now head to Nova at the top right corner of the map and then just skip the cutscene. Now go to Nova moving across the screen and then suddenly, for some reason, the game will crash. It's one of the most random crashes in the game, and honestly, I'm not entirely sure what causes it, but it's very consistent. There's an interesting but difficult glitch to set up in the second stage of Dynablade. For this glitch, you need to have a helper in the side-scrolling section of the stage. You'll need to have the helper at very low health so that any damage they take will set them off and they run around like crazy. This is where the setup of this glitch is kinda tricky. You need to have this cutter enemy damage the helper, and then you need to get Kirby over to where the warp star is. You'll then need the helper to warp over to Kirby at just the right time before he disappears. It may take more than a few tries to get this to happen, as the timing is pretty tight. If you get it correctly, the helper should now be glitched out and stuck as a fireball. Kirby is now free to jump on the warp star, but there's just one problem. The game will now get stuck in the transitional warp star cutscene, as technically the helper is still in play but cannot interact with the warp star as expected. The game is therefore still waiting for the helper to join Kirby and move on to the next area. This can go on for quite some time, to the point where this entire room wraps back to the beginning and carries on. There's nothing you can do from here besides resetting the game. Thankfully, due to the tight timing of this glitch, it's incredibly rare you'd actually encounter it without setting it up, so no worries there. And now, it's time to enter a random glitch which just messes with the game completely. Now there are two versions of this glitch, and the first isn't quite as messed up as the second, so here goes. You'll be playing the game as normal, and suddenly, this will happen. Now while this looks like the game went completely crazy, these bar sprites here and the overall scrolling movement is actually the game loading or seemingly trying to load elements of the Heart of Nova stage. But it looks to be only a partial load, and it's again triggered randomly. This scrolling will go on for as long as Kirby and the helper have full health bars. Once they take enough damage from whatever it is that's dealing it out, Kirby will die and the game will load the stage again correctly. Now this is version 1 of the glitch, and version 2 is where the really insane stuff happens. As before, you'll be playing normally and then suddenly the game will just glitch out entirely. It'll take you a second to realize where you are, and then a very glitchy Marx battle will begin. The background will be just a bunch of jumbled sprite tiles, but everything else seems to make sense, I guess? Makes sense to the point where if you beat Marx like this, it actually counts as beating Milky Way Wishes legit. And considering this can happen in Dynablade, Revenge of Meta Knight, or the Great Cave Offensive, it counts as beating those too. This version of the glitch is called the Marx Teleportation glitch for obvious reasons. Now the first version of this glitch I know can be a result of poor emulation on the SNES emulator exclusively and happens completely randomly. The second version can be triggered in the same emulator, but apparently it can also happen on console too. Not only that, people have reported that the glitch can actually fry the CPU of the console. Whether or not that's true is to be confirmed. Now some believe the glitch is triggered by having too many sprites on screen and the game glitching out because of that, usually with the hammer or parasol abilities being used along with the helper as either of those also. So Kirby using the hammer or a parasol, and the helper also using a parasol or the hammer. Having tried to get this glitch to trigger and putting those theories to the test and only triggering the glitch once, I came to the conclusion that it's probably more random than that, but those factors probably help somewhat. Either way, it's a very game-breaking glitch and deserves some acknowledgement for sure. If you're going to try this glitch on SNES, please make sure you already own the game in some form before downloading it, which goes without saying. But there you have it guys, some amusing and game-breaking glitches for you to try out in Kirby Super Star. A huge thank you to everyone on screen right now for supporting the show through Patreon pledges. I really do appreciate what you guys do. Remember, even $1 goes a long way, so thanks very much guys. And if you want to see more Kirby glitches, check out Kirby's Adventure, which is decidedly more broken than Superstar, so that's cool. And if you like this episode, hit that like button, share it with everyone you know and love, but most importantly, please subscribe if you want to see more from the series. Head over to the Facebook page for the show. I post updates and sneak peeks to upcoming episodes and keep you guys in the know about all things Son of a Glitch. Or you can follow me on Twitter and keep updated that way, you know, if you want to.